What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another F124 video. Today I'm going to be playing ranked mode for the very first time. If you're new around here, think about subscribing because I'm going to be dropping F1 videos every single week. Now, as some of you will know already, I've done my team, I've done races, sort of challenges against the AI, but today, as you can tell, we're going to be racing around Hungary in ranked. Now, there's only one DRS zone here. Some people call this track Monaco without the walls. So it's all about qualifying, which we're going to hop into right now. This is the first of 3 ranked races, and obviously one shot qualifying to get us underway. This was actually my first lap on the game for the day when I was recording this. So I'm going to be a little bit rusty at the start, and please forgive the default skin of the car, but so far a pretty tidy lap, we'd say. Not really maximizing traction, but braking's been pretty good so far. We're actually just second, very slightly behind P1, and it's going to jostle around a little bit through this middle sector as now Farmer Will pops his name into first place initially. Little bit of a wobble mid-chicane there, just riding the curb a little bit too much, as that's going to be a bit of a theme throughout the video, but overall a pretty tidy lap so far. To say it's the first lap of Hungary I've done since the My Team episode, which I think is round 13 or something like that. So if you haven't watched any of the My Team, go check it out. It was a great first season, and we'll do a second one in the coming weeks before F1 25 releases. But around the final corner now, open up the DRS. Again, not the best traction at the final corner, but it's enough to secure pole position for our very first ranked race. So hopefully, with the advantage of starting on pole, we can sort of get away cleanly and try and miss out on the carnage that's going to happen behind us. But all the lights are on, and now they're out as we go racing here in Hungary. A pretty slow start, sort of almost anti-stall there, as we sort of tried to get off the line, but a pretty good second phase relative to Farmer Will, who does send it down the inside. We're giving him the space, but he's not able to outbrake us into the first corner, and there was clearly contact behind as a few cars go around, and there's a yellow flag just after the first corner, but we're home free out front, 7.5 tenths to P2, who is Farmer Will. And I'll say, actually, so far, besides that incident in turn 1, who didn't retire, by the way, although might be retiring now, my experience of ranked, I was expecting it to be absolute carnage, and relatively surprised, actually, that it maybe wasn't. As I say that, there's another yellow flag, but yeah, we're doing alright so far. I'm not sure if these guys are running wheel, as we have a massive moment going through the high-speed right-hander at the start of Sector 3. Absolutely, I wasn't sure I was going to catch that, to be honest, but we did break DRS to P2 initially, but we've lost that now. We're back within DRS, we're not going anywhere, and we run a little bit deep in the final corner just to make our life a little bit more entertaining, we'll say. And yeah, we've really got to just be more consistent than that, really, because otherwise we're not going to hold on to P1 for very long at all. Pretty decent turn 1. We do go a little bit deep in there. Farmer Will is definitely on our tail as we move on to the end of lap 2 now, and we've kept him behind us so far, but there is the DRS zone on the pitch straight which is coming up, and I imagine that's what Farmer Will is waiting for. He's only 2 tenths behind us at the final corner. He's going to be all over us by the time we get into turn 1 with the help of DRS. I do have a lot of battery to burn though, and so does he, as now he's looking to the inside. He's definitely alongside. He brakes a little bit deep and a lock-up as we get the switch back. Leave him the space on the exit, but he does not need it because he's fully behind us again. And we're skipping forward again to lap 4. There's now Farmer Will potentially looking to the inside there. We kind of cut him off a little bit under brakes because he wasn't side by side. And again, he's looking to the outside now. We're going to give him racing room on the exit, which is very gentlemanly of us in this ranked race. But other than that, we've not been troubled. This has been a pretty clean race, pretty surprising clean race. My first experience ever in ranked. We're just holding a defensive line at the moment, trying to stop Farmer Will from getting any cutbacks, from, you know, breaking a bit earlier and cutting underneath us and getting traction. So we're just holding it tight to the wall there in the final corner, battery up to the line, and it's a first race in ranked and a first win in ranked at the same time. So there you go. Apologies for the default skin, but we will rectify that for the second race. But we're on the top step of the podium in our first ever ranked race. Say that one more time and you'll get a free subscriber. But now in quali for the second ranked race, intermediate conditions for the qualifying, which my setup is not for intermediate or wet running at all, but it should be pretty stable all the same. And there's actually another racer here that's taking to the top. I think he's a Max Verstappen fan, judging by the 33, or maybe it's a happy accident. I'm going to call him YK, because it's WYK, the 3 starting letters of his name. But he's gapped us a little bit at the top, but I think under brakes we're pretty good, generally speaking, in this setup, in these conditions. And we'll see if we can just not go deep like we did just then in the chicane, which is not ideal for us, especially that's going to mess up our whole traction. And there's another driver by the username of The Chosen One, maybe a Star Wars reference, I'm not sure, maybe just a Formula 1 reference. Maybe he is The Chosen One because he's in P1 at the moment, and we are 3/10 behind him as we start the third and final sector of the circuit. But under brakes again we do dip into pole position momentarily, so I think either we're supremely confident on our brakes or other people aren't. Maybe it's the conditions though. We'll have to see how it unfolds in the race. But dancing the car around the final corner in 4th gear, battery up to the line, and it is going to be P2 for us in this second race. Again, all of these races are going to be around Hungary. Yeah, it just makes it simpler for me. I was kind of hoping to get different tracks, but we ended up getting Hungary the whole time. And now I'm hungry to take away that first place from The Chosen One, as all the lights are out for the second race. A little bit of wheel spin off the line, but overall, a pretty equal getaway to The Chosen One. We have battery on, and we're just sneaking up the inside. We're going to potentially launch it, but he completely cuts off the corner. There's massive contact behind us as well. I heard the crunching, and there's a couple of cars off in the first corners. The yellow flags get sent out, and we've got Louis up the inside now, who does leave us racing room on exit, which is very nice of him to do. But from second to third off the start is not what we were wanting to do. We had an opportunity to take it there as we go massively deep and onto the grass and the runoff area in the sort of first big hairpin of the second sector, if you like. And now we're down into 4th on the first lap, which is absolutely not the plan. And we've got YK, The Chosen One, and Louis, not in that order, ahead of us now, or potentially battling for the win, as that's another massive slide as we touch the inside curb there. So do not hit that high-speed curb on the inside of this right-hander just here as YK gets all over the curb and bottoms out. I'm going to leave him some room on the racetrack so he can rejoin safely and not take us out, which is obviously very ideal for us. So we're up into 3rd by happy circumstance for us, unhappy circumstance for YK, who's behind and looking for a move into the final corner, potentially going onto the pit straight now, as we're going to have the DRS for the first time in ranked on The Chosen One up ahead. We're going to deploy a bit of battery and send it down the inside, braking about the 100-meter board. Keep the inside line, keep it nice and tight, give him racing room, but he goes for a switchback, and now it's a drag race down the hill. Chosen One does not have DRS on Louis, who's now in P1, and again, going for a switchback, we do dip a wheel on the grass, and Chosen One cuts us off at that apex, and that allows YK to sneak through as well, as we had to take that corner extremely cautiously to save ourselves a front wing. And this is some aggressive racing that we've got going on here. Obviously all of us here are fighting for P1, P2. Is a bit of contact in the chicane. I think Chosen One potentially cutting off YK, or YK getting a little bit greedy with his front wing. Hopefully not paying the price, but again, very aggressive elbows out driving from the two just in front of us. I'm just biding my time, looking for the opportunity to kind of get involved, but not so involved that my front wing is no longer involved in the race. But again, just harvesting the battery a little bit, staying behind. We've still got a couple of laps in this race, as now we're going to have another run on the Chosen One as he has a bit of a wobble on the exit of the final corner. Bit of DRS, bit of VRS. Job should be a good, and we're going to brake. Try not to go deep. There is a bit of contact on the apex. I think Chosen One did kind of turn in, gave a bit of a pinch, too much on the apex there. And now we're going to look to the outside. No, we're going to switch it back at the apex there. We're going to try and hold the line as the contact, and we've lost part of our front wing, and I think the Chosen One has completely lost his front wing. And after the auto recovery, which is a gift for us if we wanted to keep fighting for third, and Chosen One, I believe, is going to retire from the race, probably based on his damage. He just doesn't think he can keep going in this race. But now we've got Livid 2 seconds behind us, who I think with our front wing, the shape that it is, and yeah, it's about half of the shape it was before, we're going to be struggling, as you can see already in some of these high speed corners. We just absolutely don't have the pace that we once did. And just to kind of show you the pace difference, our best lap was a 118.2, and this is the final lap with half a front wing. As you can see in the MFD in the bottom right, we are going to struggle for some downforce. In the slower speed, you don't notice it because you're less aero, well, you don't need the aero as much, basically. It's all about mechanical grip. But through some of these corners here, you can see we have to actually brake and really shift down the gears to even make the corner, let alone at a decent pace. But through this sort of slower speed chicane, no problem at all. Front wing does not matter. This part of the circuit is really going to hurt us. We've somehow been able to hold off Sin and Livid, who are just behind us, 2.5 seconds back, but we've managed to lose 6 seconds over the past couple of laps to the top two, who seem to be fighting it out side by side for the win. Who's going to come out on top? YK or Louis? It looks like Louis got the lead into the final corner. Is YK going to have the traction and the drive to take the win? He's not. Louis takes home the win for this second race, and somehow, with half a front wing, we take third and the last step on the podium. Again, our second ever race in ranked. Mark's not happy, but I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. And I think we're going to see, again, a lot of default skins, but you can see now we actually have our My Team guy on the top there. Not with our custom livery, because you can't use custom liveries in online races, but still a decent result, I would say, for our second ever race. And now for our third race, we've kind of gone from dry to inters to full wet in quali, and now we're going to see how we do up against Evil Cheese, who was up there for a moment. I have to say, one of my favourite things about playing online is the names of the people you come up against. We've had YK, the Chosen One, Louis, and now Evil Cheese. It's yeah, it's definitely an interesting idea of putting cheese behind the wheel of a Formula 1 car, but that's a video for a different day. We've also got YK still in this lobby, so we'll see how we do against him or her or them in the wet. And you can see the cars wiggling all over the place. There's multiple people retiring, probably due to crashes, as we try and keep it on the circuit as we go massively deep into the chicane, which is not going to help us at all. We're now in P4, P3 in this one-shot quali lap so far. P4 again as we try and dance the car through this higher speed part of the circuit through sector 2. We're now going to deploy a bit of battery under brakes, hopefully claim a little bit of time back from the other drivers out there on their quali laps at the moment. And it looks like YK's got this one in the bag for pole position. We're again just trying to put the power down. We don't have this setup as a wet setup. I'm not sure if the others do as well, but I'm kind of praying that the the race is in the dry as we come home to qualify in third for this race that is going to, well, it's going to begin in a few moments' time. Again, it's dry. We've got ICV and YK up ahead of us. A decent launch from us. A lot of wheel spin though. But thankfully, it looks like Icy on the right of us has also had a similar start. As we're going to get squeezed a little bit to the grass. That kind of scared me, and we got hit back from behind. And again, from drivers probably outbraking themselves into turn 1 and trying to do a launch around the outside. But that's not happening. There's a massive collision between Icy and it looks like not Breezy Sweats, but another driver who snuck ahead of us during turn 1. And that has left us with a lot to do here, as now YK is 3 seconds up the road. And we've got a bit of space to Breezy Sweets behind. Is that Sweets? No, it's Sweats. I almost got that completely wrong. But Breezy Sweets, not sure what they are, but I do not want them if they taste like sweat. And final lap now, putting it in hot lap mode. We shouldn't be able to We shouldn't be able to catch YK in front. We're going to try and catch the fastest lap instead and keep Breezy Sweats behind us. But again, it's a pretty good setup, I would say, for Hungary. I'm looking forward to racing this track again in the second season of my team, which, if you remember from the start of the video, that's going to be coming in the next month or so. As at the moment I'm moving house and doing all these other fun things. There's a bit of a different video for this week. But a pretty clean lap, I would say, so far. Yeah, we're just trying to see if we can make up any time at all. Kind of hoping that YK gets a bit of a penalty. But as we are finishing this lap, it looks like a pretty secure P2. As, yeah, YK doesn't seem to be showing any signs of weakness. And Breezy Sweats isn't catching us at any rate of knots. At the moment, we're sort of keeping a bit equal. But if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. If you are new around here and you want to see more videos a bit like this with a bit of a voiceover commentary, you can subscribe and stay up to date with all of the new videos, which, yeah, could include some more ranked, maybe just some open lobbies in general. Just I want to see more carnage, to be honest. I think it's been quite fun racing against people for the first time ever, compared to AI that can be a bit predictable sometimes. But that's it. I'll catch you guys next week for another F1 24 video.